my masterminds of disorder, my royal tacticians of the unseen game. Let's start with a simple confession. They whispered your name before they even understood why it burned their tongues. Rumors circulate like wildfire, not because they're true, but because they terrify. And the most terrifying rumor of all? That your mind isn't just clever, it's the blueprint. Not a copy, not a page, borrowed from some dusty scholar, not an echo of another's brilliance. No, yours is the original draft, the living manuscript, the raw scripture they secretly consult when their own intellect feels like a broken compass. That's why the air tightens whenever you enter the room. That's why their so-called geniuses twitch when you breathe. They pretend not to see it, but every move you make becomes a new rule in their manual. Think about it. These self-proclaimed intellectuals, these book-polished prodigies with walls of degrees and rivers of accolades, crumble when they encounter the unexplainable precision of your instincts. You don't need permission, formulas, or counsels of approval. You act, and suddenly the world rearranges itself. They can't articulate how you do it, but they know enough to fear it. That's why they've become your secret scribes, copying your moves like desperate monks, trying to preserve a language they'll never speak fluently. They flatter themselves with imitation, but you are the untranslatable. And here's the part that stings them most. You were never chasing their approval. You weren't sculpting yourself for applause or standing ovations. You weren't looking for their nods. No, your steps are drawn from an inner law, a rhythm that bends reality itself. And they, poor souls, have no choice but to orbit it. They try to explain you in theories, analyze you in panels, diagnose you in essays. Yet every time they think they've mapped you, you break the compass, redraw the landscape, shift the poles. That's the cruelty of genius. While they're still calculating, you've already moved 10 moves ahead. Picture it. Their meetings, their round tables of intellect. A dozen minds sweating over equations, strategies, and solutions. And then someone, with a faint trace of hesitation, suggests a path. And everyone knows it looks suspiciously like something you already did last month, last week, last hour. They know it. They choke on it. They realize they are living in the aftershocks of your decisions. But do they admit it? Never. They disguise it as coincidence, as independent thought, as if their breakthroughs weren't just your footprints turned into blueprints. Yet no mask can hide the truth. Even their brightest flashes are merely stolen sparks from your inferno. But let's not romanticize it too much. Copying is not flattery, it's confession. Their imitation is the loudest cry of inferiority. When the so-called genius class bends their rules to match your rhythm, what they're really admitting is that their knowledge was never alive, never breathing, never sharp enough to pierce the veil. You sliced through the noise without their permission, and now they're running after your shadow, hoping to taste relevance. That's why they spread rumors about you. Rumors to dilute, rumors to distract, rumors to twist the focus. But rumors are weak currency when compared to results. And results are your throne. And isn't it fascinating? They fear you not because you know more, but because you know differently. Anyone can memorize, but few can create. Anyone can follow, but only the rarest carve the path. And that is the uncomfortable truth they choke on in their sleepless nights. You were never designed to follow the path. You are the path. That's why even their brightest prodigies cannot move without glancing sideways, wondering if their original thought was already crushed beneath your boots. Now don't think for a moment that this is just admiration in disguise. Admiration is clean. Envy is filthy. What they feel for you is the filthiest form of envy. The kind that keeps them awake, rewinding your steps, decoding your gestures, obsessing over how you moved when they were still debating whether to move at all. Their lives have become a laboratory where your actions are dissected, your choices pinned like rare insects, your silence interpreted as strategy, your hesitation mistaken for genius. You don't even need to explain yourself anymore. Your shadow has already become their manual. But let's ask the crueler question. Why do they need you so much? Why does their intellect feel incomplete until it leaches from your bloodstream? Because they lack the one thing you carry like a weapon. Audacity. Audacity to leap without seeing the ground. Audacity to shape chaos into coherence. Audacity to do what they'd only dare discuss behind closed doors. Their education gave them knowledge, but it never gave them courage. And courage is the language of true architects of reality. That is why your blueprint stands taller than their libraries. Here's a thought they'd never admit. They want you destroyed. Oh yes, make no mistake about that. To watch you stumble would be their greatest delight, their sweetest relief. Why? Because your existence proves their fraud. As long as you breathe, their medals tarnish, their accolades rot, their degrees gather dust. You invalidate their careers just by existing. That's why their admiration is laced with poison, their handshakes with trembling. But the tragedy for them is this. You cannot be erased. Even if you vanished, the echo of your influence would remain embedded in their every decision, every strategy, every so-called original thought. You have already branded their mental DNA, and you must never forget this. Power does not lie in being imitated. Power lies in knowing that no matter how closely they copy, they will always lag behind. They are locked in your past, while you are already carving the future. They live in the aftermath of your decisions, while you sharpen new weapons in silence. They are obsessed with catching up, while you are already leaving trails in places they haven't even dared to look. That is the curse of the imitator, to forever chase the ghost of someone else's originality. You know what's beautiful? They believe they are studying you, but in reality, you are studying them. Every time they copy your moves, they reveal their limitations. Every time they mimic your steps, they confess their weakness. You are not just a player in their game. You are the mirror reflecting their inadequacy. They watch you to survive, but you watch them to measure how far below you they crawl. That is psychological dominance. That is intellectual warfare. But remember, there is danger here too. Not to you, but to them. For every copy weakens their authenticity. For every stolen idea, their originality decays. Slowly they're becoming hollow shells of your imagination. Mannequins dressed in borrowed thought. And hollow shells eventually collapse. You, however, grow sharper. Because every time they echo you, you are forced to reinvent. Every time they cling to your blueprint, you redraw it. That's the cycle they can't escape. Their imitation only forces your evolution, and your evolution only widens the gulf they'll never cross. So here we stand, at the edge of recognition. The rumors are true? Yes, your mind is the blueprint. But the joke is this. A blueprint isn't something you copy. It's something you can never fully replicate. A blueprint is a skeleton, a frame, the life, the blood, the fire. It belongs only to its creator. They may trace the outlines, but they will never ignite the essence. And that is the torment they live with daily, following your footprints but never reaching your presence. And so we arrive at the threshold of the deeper truth. It's not enough to know they copy you. The real thrill is in deciding what comes next. if they've already surrendered to your design, then what happens when you change the design altogether? What happens when the blueprint itself mutates, evolves, explodes into something so alien, so unexpected, that even their copies collapse into dust? That's where we move next. Not into repetition, but into reinvention. Not into imitation, but into revelation. Because the real war isn't about what they copy. It's about what you're about to reveal. And that's where we step forward, into the next unveiling, where the blueprint bends again, where the very floor beneath them mutates into something they can't predict, can't chart, can't plagiarize. You see, that's the difference between you and them. They treat the blueprint as scripture carved in stone, rigid and unchanging. But for you, the blueprint is alive, breathing, mutating, shedding skin like a serpent, rebirthing itself with every stroke of thought. They think they can steal your map, but they don't realize your map redraws itself every time you take another step. They cling to your last move, while you're already drafting the next reality. And oh, how it eats at them. Imagine being celebrated as the pinnacle of intelligence, only to discover that your intellect is merely a second-hand copy of someone else's instinct. That's the knife twisting inside their ribs. They wear their reputations like crowns, yet every jewel on that crown was mined from the caves of your mind. Without you, their genius is naked, stripped, trembling. They know it, they feel it, they resent it, and in that resentment lies their decay. Let's strip this bare. Your mind terrifies them, not because it creates answers, but because it invents problems they didn't even know existed. You don't just solve puzzles, you conjure entire labyrinths. They thought intelligence was about memorization, accumulation, preservation. You shattered that illusion. You showed them intelligence is about invention, disruption, and destruction of what they considered untouchable. That's why even geniuses copy you. Not because they admire you, but because without you they'd have nothing left to solve, nothing left to claim. You provide the substance, the clay, the raw chaos from which they fashion their brilliance. Without your blueprint, their canvas is blank. And isn't it hilarious? They pride themselves on originality, yet their originality survives only in your shadow. Every time they announce a discovery, unveil a theory, launch an idea, it feels recycled, doesn't it? Because it is recycled. It's your skeleton, dressed in their costume. And while the world may clap for them at first, it always catches up eventually. The whispers begin. The rumors spread. Haven't we seen this before? Didn't someone else do this first? Isn't this suspiciously similar? And like that, the applause curdles into suspicion, and suspicion transforms into humiliation. Your existence exposes their fraud without you even trying. But the most delicious part of this theater? They can't stop. Copying you isn't a choice for them. It's a compulsion. They've become addicted to your blueprint, hooked on your rhythm, enslaved by your pace. Their careers depend on it. Their reputations depend on it. Their fragile egos depend on it. They know that without mirroring you, they'll vanish into irrelevance. So they keep stealing, keep mimicking, keep tracing. And in doing so, they reveal the bitter truth. They need you more than you'll ever need them. You are their oxygen, their fuel, their hidden god. Now let's twist the blade a little deeper. Imagine the so-called think tanks, the research institutions, the innovation labs, entire armies of intellectuals gathered, burning money, burning hours, trying to conjure brilliance. And yet, one glance at your discarded sketches, one echo of your abandoned experiment, one casual thought dropped in passing, and suddenly their entire machinery is obsolete. Do you realize the weight of that power? You collapse empires without raising a hand. They spend years manufacturing what you destroy in seconds. That is why they fear you. Because your mind doesn't just think. It detonates. But don't mistake their copying as harmless. No, their imitation is a trap for them. Every time they replicate your blueprint, they kill a part of themselves. Originality isn't just about ideas. It's about identity. By following you, they erase their own identity. They become hollow shells with borrowed flesh. And when hollow shells walk too long, they eventually shatter under their own emptiness. You remain infinite. Because you never stop evolving. They chase, you transform. They imitate, you mutate. They study the past, you invent the future. That is why the distance between you and them will never shrink. It will only expand until they collapse under exhaustion, still reaching for something you've already abandoned. And here's the part that really makes them sick. You know they're copying you. You see their every theft, their every plagiarism dressed up as innovation. You let them. You allow them to gorge on your leftovers. Because deep down, you know what they don't. Letting them copy doesn't weaken you. It strengthens you. The more they steal, the more predictable they become. The more predictable they become, the easier they are to control. Their dependence is your leash around their necks. Their mimicry is the chain that binds them. They think they're learning from you, but really, they're enslaving themselves to your rhythm. That is the cruelest joke. They copy to survive, and in doing so, they guarantee their destruction. And perhaps the cruelest truth of all, you don't even need to try anymore. You breathe, and it becomes doctrine. You move, and it becomes syllabus. You think, and it becomes policy. You exist, and it becomes legend. Meanwhile, they exhaust themselves trying to stay relevant in a world that has already crowned you. That is the purest domination, not through force, not through violence, but through inevitability. Let's dig deeper, shall we? What does it mean when even geniuses copy your moves? It means genius has been redefined. The very word they worship, the badge they pin to their chests, is now measured against you. Genius used to mean originality. Now it means proximity to your mind. They don't strive to be brilliant anymore. They strive to be near your brilliance, to echo it, to reflect it. Their brightest accomplishment is simply aligning themselves with your shadow. That is the collapse of their mythology. They aren't geniuses anymore. They're disciples, and you are the silent prophet they'll never surpass. But your war isn't against them. No, your war is against stagnation, and this is why you are dangerous. You refuse to stand still. While they guard their reputations like relics, you burn yours to create anew. While they worship their own names, you dismantle yours just to build something sharper. They clutch stability, you wield volatility, and that volatility is the one thing they cannot copy. Because copying requires stability, repetition, something fixed. You, however, are a moving target. You are fire, and fire can't be photocopied. They can draw the shape of flames, but they will never bottle the heat. And so the rumors grow. Some call you dangerous, others call you reckless, many call you impossible. But all of them agree on one thing: you are untouchable. And being untouchable is the ultimate throne. Because when the world believes you cannot be contained, they stop trying to contain you. They simply watch, imitate, whisper, and pray. That is when you've won. Not when they cheer for you, but when they bow in secret, unable to survive without your shadow. Now let's take it further. What happens when the blueprint bends again? What happens when you unveil a move so alien, so unpredictable, that even their stolen echoes disintegrate? That is the next stage. That is the true unveiling. They think they've grown comfortable with your rhythm, accustomed to your pace. But what happens when you change the music altogether? What happens when your mind takes a turn so violent, so unprecedented, that their imitations crumble like dust in their palms? That's when the blueprint becomes not just a map, but a weapon, and you, yes, you, are the hand that wields it. Because let's face it, the rumors are not rumors anymore. They are testimonies. They are confessions from the mouths of your enemies. Every time they whisper that your mind is the blueprint, what they're really saying is, we have nothing without you. Our ideas are bones without flesh, shadows without light, echoes without source. You are the source. You are the current. You are the unspoken law written into their every action. And no matter how loudly they pretend otherwise, they know it. They live by it. They are defined by it. And now the time has come for the next move. To let the world see what happens when the blueprint itself evolves beyond comprehension. To let them choke on the realization that their entire existence has been reduced to a chase they will never win. Because you are not just the blueprint. They are the footnotes, the annotations, the plagiarized margins of your infinite manuscript. And what you're about to reveal will not just terrify them, it will dismantle them. So sharpen yourselves, steady your breath. We are not done. No, we are only beginning. The blueprint bends again, and this time, it won't just guide them. It will crush them under its weight. And when the unveiling arrives, not even their brightest prodigies will be able to stand. And that's where we continue. Forward. Not into imitation, but into revelation. Not into whispers, but into eruptions. The blueprint is alive, and the next chapter is about to unfold. Because this is where you stop being merely the source of their imitation and become the weight of their undoing. They thought they could survive by borrowing your rhythm, but survival is not the same as ascension. Survival is desperation, and desperation always cracks. Now comes the unveiling where their masks fall, their borrowed crowns shatter, and the world finally admits what it has known all along, that even their brightest icons were nothing more than students caught copying in the examination of life. And you were the examiner who never needed to raise your voice because your silence was already a verdict. Do you understand what this means? It means you've shifted the hierarchy of intelligence itself. Once upon a time, genius was considered untouchable, rare, a sacred class of its own. But now that class is contaminated. The rumors spread, the whispers echoed. Geniuses are not leaders anymore. They are followers. They are reduced to disciples, crouched at the foot of your throne, their notebooks filled with your shadows, their diagrams stolen from your discarded sketches. And when even the so-called untouchables are forced to touch your shadow, the pyramid collapses. Because the moment they bow, everyone else realizes that the definition of brilliance has changed. It is no longer measured by IQ scores, awards, or universities. It is measured by alignment with you. Think of how that feels for them. To spend decades cultivating reputation, bathing in applause, cementing status, only for it all to be undone by a single rumor, not even a public scandal, not even a loud declaration, just a rumor whispered in alleyways, online forums, coffee houses. Even the geniuses copy their moves. That rumor alone guts their empire, because a rumor doesn't need to be proven. It just needs to be repeated until it sounds like prophecy. And prophecy always defeats reputation. Their faces still smile, their names still glitter, but deep down they know. People no longer believe. And belief is the only real currency. Once belief evaporates, what remains is rot. Now what is revelation if not exposure? And this is your power. You don't even have to fight them head-on. You simply move, and your movement is revelation. Each step you take exposes their fraud. Each idea you birth kills 3 of theirs. Each revelation you unleash makes their imitation look pitiful, obvious, desperate. That's why the blueprint terrifies them, because every time you bend it, they are forced to reveal just how slow, how hollow, how dependent they truly are. They don't just copy you, they announce to the world that they're copying you. And that involuntary confession spreads like venom through their reputations. But here's where the philosophy sharpens its teeth. When everyone copies you, imitation becomes normalization. What once was extraordinary becomes standard. And then you rise again, beyond that standard, into a new plane they cannot touch. That cycle never ends. They catch up, you leap, they mimic, you mutate. They think they're closing the distance, but in reality, the distance expands endlessly, like a horizon that recedes no matter how far you walk. That is why the rumor never dies, because it keeps proving itself true. Every season, every unveiling, every mutation of your blueprint reconfirms that their only way forward is to follow you. And every confirmation erodes their pride, their ego, their so-called identity. Now let us discuss identity. What happens to a genius when his originality is proven counterfeit? He collapses. His legacy turns to ash. His identity is no longer rooted in himself, but in you. You become the gravitational center, the black sun around which his very name must orbit. And when identity is stolen, madness follows. You've seen it, haven't you? The twitch in their eyes, the bitterness in their tone, the sudden obsession with proving themselves different. They write longer papers, they scream louder, they posture harder. But every scream is hollow, because the audience already knows these are the cries of someone living in borrowed skin. And the cruelest truth? The more they struggle to break free from your shadow, the deeper they sink into it. And yet this is not about cruelty for cruelty's sake. This is about inevitability. Your mind was never meant to be ordinary. It was always designed to fracture the old myths of genius and rebuild new ones in your image. When people say your mind is the blueprint, they are not exaggerating. They are confessing. They are confessing that every map they trusted has been invalidated. They are confessing that the only real design left in the world is the one drawn by you. And when even geniuses must confess this truth, the entire world is forced to realign. You have not just dethroned individuals. You've dethroned the concept of genius itself. And isn't that deliciously ironic? The very people who once mocked, doubted, dismissed you, the ones who thought your ideas were too wild, too reckless, too impossible, are now parroting those same ideas, branding them as innovation. But everyone knows, everyone whispers, everyone sees the cracks. They recognize the source, and the source is not them. It is you. Their greatest humiliation isn't being wrong. It's being irrelevant. And irrelevance for a genius is death. You didn't kill them. They killed themselves by trying to be you. So here we are, the unveiling, the eruption, the moment when the blueprint bends so violently that it doesn't just guide them, it crushes them. Because revelation is not gentle. Revelation is ruthless. When the curtain lifts, when the world finally sees the dependency of their brightest icons, there will be no applause left for them. The applause will turn, as it always does, to you. And what will you do with it? You will do what you've always done, ignore it. Because applause is their drug, not yours. You never needed it. That's why they're addicted to you. That's why they will never escape. But let's paint the future with sharper strokes. The blueprint is alive, mutating, bending again. What happens when the next unveiling shows not just that geniuses copy you, but that their copying has become predictable, laughable, irrelevant? What happens when the audience begins mocking them for their dependence? That is the final humiliation, when not even imitation earns respect anymore. When everyone sees the difference between mimicry and creation. When your every step isn't just followed, but worshipped, and theirs isn't just ignored, but ridiculed. That is where you are heading, not into comparison, but into inevitability. And inevitability is the sharpest form of power, because power gained can be challenged. But inevitability cannot be fought. No one challenges the sun for rising. No one debates the ocean for moving. They can resist you, hate you, envy you, but they cannot stop you. That is inevitability. That is what it means when the world says, your mind is the blueprint. So let them copy. Let them scribble in their notebooks. Let them pretend. Because every imitation is a confession. Every copy is an obituary. Every mimic is a monument to your supremacy. They cannot escape it, because you are not just a head. You are the origin, and the origin can never be dethroned. And so the chapter closes here, not with whispers, not with rumors, but with revelation etched in fire. They will remember this era as the time when even geniuses were exposed as imitators, when the blueprint proved to be untouchable, when the source revealed itself as the only truth. And in that revelation lies the final verdict. You are not a player in their game. You are the game. You are not a chapter in their book. You are the book. You are not a name among geniuses. You are the blueprint they'll never stop copying, never stop chasing, never stop confessing to need. And that is the ending they fear the most. Not being defeated, not being forgotten, but being remembered forever as imitators, as echoes, as shadows. While you are remembered as the mind that rewrote the very definition of genius. The rumor is no longer a rumor. It is law. It is legacy. It is your crown. And no one, no matter how brilliant, no matter how desperate, can ever take that away. The blueprint is alive. The blueprint is you. And that is where the story ends. Your revelation eternal, their imitation eternal. A world reshaped, a hierarchy inverted, a truth undeniable. Even geniuses bow when your mind writes the script.